and they can follow a scent of chocolate. There's a guy named Noam Sobel who's been on my podcast. He's over in Israel, who claims that human olfaction is just as good as dog olfaction. But how do they outdo us? The frequency of sniffs. And this is really cool. You know those little notches on the side of the nose? Like our nostrils look more or less symmetric. They have those little notches. They create little vortices for the dog so that the scents stick around. They're actually getting longer exposure to a scent. So when they're getting something like 10 or 20x the exposure to the scent in the olfactory bulb, and are able to assess both directionality. They can do right nostril, left nostril. They can sense odor plumes to steer in one direction or another. But Noam has done these crazy experiments when he was back at Berkeley, where he had people's hands mitted, eyes covered, so they can't sense touch, they can't see, everything's covered, and they can follow a scent of chocolate buried 7 inches below the ground. So he would do these aerial views of these people tracking these scents on the ground. And it turns out people are really good at this. They compared the tracking of a scent hound, of a bloodhound, to human tracking of a scent buried. In the case of the bloodhound, it wasn't buried.
So that person, what do they have, a mask on?
Yeah, they got a mask on. Their hands are covered with thick gloves. They can only use, the only thing exposed are their nostrils. But that line, that yellow line, is not a line with a bunch of chocolate on it. It's buried below the surface. I know him. He said, no, they buried the chocolate scent. And people were able to track it like a hunting dog tracks a pheasant.
How do they bury it if it's grass?
I think they cut a trench and then they covered it up.
Oh.